Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. How you doing? Hope you're good. Hope you had a good weekend. Sorry, I'm back in conservatory today. All the cushions, and yeah, the sun's out, so I can't see you right well today. Hopefully, we'll get saved by a cloud in a bit. Yeah, what we're doing today, then, as promised, we'll have the Ante-Post roundup. We got plenty more than last time. We'll have a little chat. Yeah, we'll just cover the weekend's racing just very, very briefly. And yeah, just the Ante-Post. Oh, I've got a few more bets, just sort of small adjustments to bets we've had already, really, just a few of those. And one new bet, but it's not a new horse, but it's just really taking advantage of this non-runner no bet situation. Yeah. When we do Ante-Post roundup, we'll do that, and then yeah, we'll just have a little chat about where we are with it and some of those races. So yeah, should be good. Right, okay. We'll kick off. Forest. I do apologise. I never actually said his name, did I? Mr. Giff is Forest. Sorry about that. Apologies. Right, so I'll just clear that up. Weekend's racing then that might have some sort of effect on Cheltenham. There were a few races there. That Boodles race we won about, Eagle Fang took that. He took it well, to be fair, and if he rocks up in the Boodles, you'd have to respect him. Pacini for Gordon Elliott, not so much, but do remember Gordon Elliott's Jazzy Matty got beaten this as well last year, so as I mentioned, maybe don't take the thing too literally, the form. He'd still be some sort of contender if he turns up there. Nara caught my bit. I thought Nara travelled well. There was something about that horse in parts for JP and Henry. You know, yeah, that could be an interesting outsider on the day. I'd say Nara if they turned up there with that. The morning favourite, Lark in the Morning, and the favourite for the Boodles, they took that out, didn't go here. So yeah, so for that, last five winners have come out of this race. Will that continue? I don't know, but there's a few contenders there. To be fair, to be honest, it's not a race I like the Boodles. I've got a fantastic record of coming second in this race, and yeah, I won. As I mentioned, I won the Charles Burns horse last year. Just got chinned year before. Gaelic Warrior, weren't it? Yeah, just got chinned. I think the year before that, I won the Willie horse. I think came second. Yeah, it's not a good race for me. I've only won it once, so maybe don't be following me in on the Boodles, and we'll be keeping stakes fairly sensible for that race. Allegory Devassi dropped 2 mile here. Bit rusty early, impressive in the end. It's a funny horse, this one. I don't know, it's like she looks better than she is, if you know what I mean. In parts, she moves really nicely and she's got a bit of class to it. It's almost like dropping a Rolls Royce engine onto like a Lada chassis or something. This horse, I'm not sure. I think she probably does have breathing issues, but she goes into the mare's chase in good form. She does. So yeah, she's got a chance there. Shishkin, no, not for me. Edwardstone, I thought looked good. Most of the season, you'd have said John Bon were nailed on to be second at Cheltenham. He's got in that, it's a bit better. Yeah, maybe not so much anymore. Particularly how John Bond's race went last time. Yeah, I'd say he's a good contender for second Edwardstone now. Tishan yesterday, yeah, this horse, he kind of broke the clock in a point to point. He's well regarded, runs in the Delahaye colours for Paul. He was very impressive. He looks a cracking prospect, and he's going to be a big contender in the bumper. Brighter days ahead. Yeah, the form's probably not all that much, but she looked a lot happier going this way round, I thought. I loved how she pinged the second last. She's a lovely horse. I love this horse. She's going to be a huge player in the Mares Novice. Eden Valley Lake. Yeah, we mentioned Coral Cup. Giving the game a nice quiet ride here for marker 139. Yeah, they didn't get the memo there, did they? He's gone and bolted it in this grade 2. Yeah, so that's not going to be getting into a Coral Cup in the low 140s anymore. That's a shame, really, but I suppose Connections won't mind. They picked up a grade 2. I do think if this were a JP horse, we'd have been looking at the Coral Cup winner here, like, you know, but 10 up. The 10 up, they went a decent pace here, didn't they? Manila Kakuna, Favre de Champeau sort of took each other on various stages of the race. Between the last two, I thought Nick Rocket were going to come through and take this, but credit to American Mike, he did tough it out after the last. They finished legless here to me. I thought this was a tough race. Personally, I'd give no chance to any of these in 4 weeks' time at Cheltenham. I was quite amazed that Nick Rockets kind of got clipped after this even. Personally, I couldn't be having any of these on my mind for Cheltenham. No. Cantico, yeah, we had a point on him, didn't we, at 14s. And it was kind of the result you didn't want to happen when you take that approach, you know, backing it before it runs, because he was kind of meh. He was alright, he looked decent, but you wouldn't be in a rush to back him after watching that. So you kind of preferred him to either win well or blow out, but as it happens, he'll probably be going to Cheltenham. So we kind of stuck with a ticket on him at 14s. He's around the same price now. Personally, I did cash my ticket out. If you have that option, you can do that, because then I think on the day, I don't think Patrick will be riding him. You'll get like 20 to 1 plus on Betfair. You can get some wild prices on the exchanges for that, you know, second, third, fourth strings, like, you know, a Willys. And I'll probably just throw a little bit of change on him at that, just for my own sanity, like. But yeah, for the purposes of this, we're not doing cash outs and trading backs and stuff, so we're kind of stuck with a point on him now. Yeah, and that's that. Just we'll touch on some of these horses a bit more when we go back through, when we do our sort of roundup. Alright then, the new little bets to have. Right. Yeah, you're going to have an extra point, one more point on JPR1 for the Arkle. Looking at that, at the price is still 12 to 1 non-runner no bet. So, yeah, we did have 2 points on him. We'll have one more point, then we've got a nice drag for him if it's JPR1. So we talked about him before. Yeah. We'll have an extra point, one more point on Embassy Gardens, 11 to 4. These are all non-runner no bets. We'd got 4 points on him after watching Manila Kakuna and Nick Rocket yesterday. he's got to be, you know, if he turns up here and he doesn't drop him into the Browns, yeah, he's certainly Willie's number one. There's no doubt about that now. And yeah, I fancy him quite strongly. I could see him going off maybe 6-4 or something. So we'll just top up a small bit on him, have an extra point on him at 11-4. Special one, Facile Vega. Right. Just with all this William Mullins bingo going off with these novice chasers, you know, I mean, Nick Rocket and Manila Cocoon haven't really done the advanced their claims, have they, for Cheltenham now? So all of a sudden, Willie's looking a little bit threadbare with the novice chasers. You'd be thinking he's got Factor File, big chance. Embassy Gardens, big chance in the 4-miler. Facile Vega and Elite Tomps, you know, decent chances sort of thing. He's got 2 big bullets there, I'd say, and the rest not so much. And just it's this Willie Mullins bingo belt shed, doesn't it? There is a chance, we mentioned before, didn't we, that Facile Vega could be moved up. Say if Factor File goes for the Browns, Gaelic Warrior could be looking a bit iffy after last time. He could push Facile Vega up to the Turners. So we have already got a point on him at 12's Ante-Post. We'll just have one more point on Facile Vega for the Turners, 7-1 non-runner no bet. I think that's a fair enough price to. And the other one is also Facile Vega. And this will be a bit of a wild thing to do for Willie, but say if he's leaving Embassy Gardens in the 4-miler and he wants to run Factor File in the Turners, the Browns, so he might be tempted to say he'd have 3 or 4 in the Arkle. It wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility he could suddenly bang Facile Vega right up to the Browns. Yeah, he could, you know, unlikely granted, but it's a possibility. He's done stuff like this before. Now, it's a big old price there on the exchanges and you can get 50s, but it's clearly a bet to play, non-runner no bet this, given that it's unlikely to happen. Now 365, bit of a rick here I'd say. They've got him in at 16-1 non-runner no bet. Now, yeah, it's obviously unlikely to happen, but if it did happen, he ain't going to be 16-1. That's a mad price. I think Paddy's a half that price. Yeah, it'd be, you know, Willie Mullins, Facile Vega, Paul Townsend. He'd go off. You know, Factor File's not going to be there. He'd be in the first few in the market, so that's a mad price. That is what your non-runner no bet is kind of for. Sometimes, you know, you can cover these wild scenarios. And yeah, I'd say 16-1's a bit mental for that. So we'll have a couple of points on that. 2 points Facile Vega for the Browns. 16-1 with 365 non-runner no bet. That's a mad price, that. So we've got him back for all 3 races though, haven't we? We're on him anywhere. Just don't throw him in champion hurdle, will he? You know. Right then, let's get this done then, the Ante-Post roundup. A bit warm now, just going to set this up. Oh, come on, clouds. Right then, I'll run through these quickly and then we'll have a chat about them a bit. So, we've got Supreme. Right, if we back these non-runner no bets, I'll quote you the non-runner no bet price at the moment. If we back to Ante-Post, I'll quote you the Ante-Post price. I did all these last night. The ones we just put up there, I've just checked this morning again to make sure them prices are there. But these are the ones, they were all right as of last night anyway. Right, so we've got Supreme, Ballyburn, 8 points, non-runner no bet, 6-4, 11-10. No flies on him, 1.33s, 25s, Sunday Post. Arkle, yeah, we'll come back to this. Right, we've got 6 points, Facile Vega, 6-1, 10-1 now. JPR1, 3 points at 12s, non-runner no bet, still 12s. Quilixios, 1.10s, non-runner no bet, still 10s. Champion Hurdle, 5 points, Constitutional, 11-8, now 1-3. Mares Hurdle, 4 points, Lossiemouth, 7-2, now 8-11. 4 miler, we've now got 5 points, Embassy Gardens, 11-4, non-runner no bet, still that price. Ballybingham, Mystical Power, we got 6 points at 5-1 now, non-runner no bet, still that price. Browns, Factor File, we got 2 points, 28-1, 3-1. Stay Away Faye, 2 points, 16s, now 7-2. Monty Star, we had a point at 50s, point at 40s, so we got 2 points on him at 45s, he's 7s. And now we got Facile Vega, 2 points, 16-1, non-runner no bet, still that price. Champion Chase, 5 points, El Fabiolo, 2-1, now 1-2. Grand Annual, St Felician, 3 points, 14s, non-runner no bet, same price. Bumper, we've got 1 point on the Yellow Clay, 12-1, non-runner no bet, still that price. And a point on Cansico, 14s, non-runner no bet, still that price. Turners, right, Factor File, we've got 2 points on him at 14-1 Ante-Post. It's 2-1 Ante-Post. And we've got 3 points at 5-1 non-runner no bet. 11-8 non-runner no bet. Facile Vega, we've got 1 point, 12-1 at Ante-Post. He's 8s Ante-Post. And a point, 7s non-runner no bet. Still 7s. Ryanair, we got 4 points on Banbridge at 5-2, non-runner no bet, still that price. Stayers Hurdle, Irish Point, we got 4 points at 6-1, it's now 4s. Mares Novice Hurdle, Jade de Grugy, we got 2 points at 7-1, non-runner no bet, and 6 points at 5-2, non-runner no bet. It's 5-2, non-runner no bet now. Brighter Days Ahead, we've got 3 points at 10s. That's Ante-Post. She's 7-2, best price now. Right. On to 2 sheets now. Triumph, we've got 1 point Masborough, 20s, 10s now. Albert Bartlett, we got 6 points, Reading Tommy Wrong, 7-1, non-runner no bet, still that price. Gold Cup, we got a point on Faster Slow at 20s, he's 5s now. Got 3 points on Jerry Colombo, 8s, 10s now. And a point on Gentleman's Game at 25s, he's 20s now. Mares Chase, out of the recycle bin. First one this season. Allegory Devassi, we just got a point on her at 6-1, now 9-2. Martin Pipe, Mr. Giff, 3 points, 8-1, non-runner no bet, still that price. That's a grand total of 99 points we've got on. Recycle bin. Yeah. Last time we did this we won 20. We're now 28 points in the recycle bin. A few notables there. Dead ones. This is actually a new addition to recycle bin, although it were a while ago now. 5 points, Alkid and Tabur. 25s for the mares. That were a damn shame. We had a good lash on her, 130 points. We had point each way in the pocket, 20s for that Arkle. You'd be thinking, you'd be fancying him for that Arkle now, wouldn't you? That's in the bin. They're dead, they're not coming back. I don't think. You never know with your Oko, do you? You want a Helker to do an Iroko. Then, right, we've still got some live runners in this bin, but I'm kind of keeping them in there. We've got a 2 points on Atlantic for the Ballymore at 16s. Now, you know, like I say, if you like your sort of trading and stuff, like I kind of traded this back for profit. I've got him running for nothing, but yeah, we're not doing that for this. So we've got 2 points on him. He's in the bin, but he's live, I guess. We've got a point on Mr. Policeman at 20s for the Turners. Still live, I guess. We've got 2 points Mirrors West at 14s for the Supreme there. That's going to be live, I think. And we've got 2 points on Ballyburn at 8-1 for the Ballymore. Yeah, that's still live. Yeah, that's a recycle bin. Right. Now, if we add all these together, we've got a grand total there, of 127 points now. So, like, if you were playing to pounds, you're in for 127 now. But that is kind of spread over a year. You know, it might sound a lot if you're playing to pounds, but yeah, it is spread over a year, so it doesn't seem so bad. You know, it's like a savings account. The banks would not approve, but yeah. I guess by the end of it all, maybe we'll be in for maybe 200-ish. I don't know. I've not really worked it out, but yeah. Right. Out of those bets there, we've got plenty on non-running out bets, so we're going to get some of them points back. So, like, our total on is going to come down. The bin will get a little fuller. It will. It's unavoidable. So that proportion, you know, at the minute it's higher than you'd like it is, but it's going to get worse in that regard just for a little bit. But then I guess we're going to have some more bets on, aren't we? Now, I've not worked this out. I think we're probably not in a bad position. Put it this way, right? If you took the recycle bin, added it to the points lost versus the points gained on our selections, then I think we'd be outstripping that comfortably. So, you know, in theory, I guess you could probably trade all these back now and take a profit. So in that respect, I think we've done all right. But yeah, we're not going to do that. We want to get some winners. Like I say at the beginning of this, I mean, if we do make a profit on this, I think we've done well. If you have access to cash outs and you can do a bit of trading and playing about there, it makes it a lot easier and you keep that recycle bin down a bit. But we're not bringing that into this because not everyone will have access to cash outs and stuff with the bookies, and not everyone's into like trading on Betfair and stuff, so try and keep it fairly basic how we're doing it. I'd say if we hit like a secondary bet in a race, you'd want like kind of 13 points back or more. If you hit with one of your main bets there, you kind of want in double that. I'd say you'd want in sort of 26 points plus back for a race. So bear that in mind. Right, we'll just go back through these then a bit. Right then, the Supreme. Yeah, we'll talk a little about all these races, I guess. The Supreme, yeah, if Ballyburn comes here, like I said before, I think he'll kick off that last bend away and gone, and we got sort of solid 20 points back. See, with a lot of these horses at shorter prices, we're not going to get as much back as you'd like for winning a bet, for winning a race. But that's just the nature of the prices. I mean, you know, unless you want to be banging sort of 20 points on a horse or something at 6-4 or even money, you're not going to be getting them drags. And I don't want to get quite into that because, you know, I want to kind of proportion it a little bit. And, you know, it's kind of the way I do my normal sort of betting. I think just because a horse is a shorter price doesn't mean you should have more on. Like, do you know, you want something, do you know, like Halka, we had a lash at Halka at 25, so that's how you get your big winnings back. You don't just put like 10 times more on because it's 6-4. You know, you've got to be sensible with things, you know. That's just my view anyway, you know. So yeah, some of these shorter price ones, we're not going to be getting back what we'd like to get back off a race. But they're there, aren't they? At least the drags, you know. And yeah, I think Ballyburn goes here. I think he wins. 20 points is a nice amount to bank anyway off the first race. It gets you going, doesn't it? As I said, I do think he'll come in here. It could get a bit complicated, I guess, if you're thinking, well, you might think, well, Ballyburn wins, so if he goes to this Ballybingham, he wins that. The kind of connections of Henry's horse, that Slade Steel kind of said they'll go where Ballyburn doesn't. So maybe Willie would think, well, have we got a better chance of beating, if you take Ballyburn out of it, have we got a better chance of beating Slade Steel in the Supreme with his sort of mystical power and his other horses, or in the Ballymore with his mystical power and his other horses? But I just think at the end of the day, he's just going to think, look, we'll just get the Supreme in the bank, and then hopefully we can pull off the Ballybingham too. That's the way I think. For me, the Supreme's got the most prestige to it. It's the first race of the, you know, meeting. If we can take out the Supreme, you take it out, and then you try and win the Ballybingham too, like, you know, rather than the other way around, I'd say. But the Arkle, yeah, this race, we've kind of overstaked this. We went big on Facile Vega earlier. So we're in for, what, 10 points here. And that's okay if you think you've kind of got a race locked in, but it's not locked in. So we have overstaked this race. Yeah, I was just looking at it, how it was structured. I thought it's worth just having that little 1 point top up on JPR1. So now if JPR wins, we've got 12, 24, 36, 39 points back, which is a nice sort of drag. So We get a nice drag for Facile Vega, a nice drag for JPR1, and Quilixios will like get a stake back for the race. That's okay. Facile Vega, I've been like fairly sure he was going Arkle all season, but just with a fallout with other Willie novices, he could possibly end up getting pushed out in trip. I do think Willie wants to run him here. I'd say this. Do you know this Willie Mullins bingo? I was just thinking this morning. Someone like Paddy's are missing a trick here. You should. I'd offer someone maybe 20-1 if they could figure out and get all his novices in the right races. 20-1. It's probably a bit tight as well. But we like a profit margins, don't we? These bookies. Just on that, did you notice that race with Missouri West a while back? I think close to the off they were betting 8-11 joint favourites. I didn't work out the percentages, but that just seemed wrong. So yeah, that's the Arkle then. Constitutional, we've got 5 points to say. We're not 11-8. Again, it's just it's not a huge drag, but it's a solid amount. I mean, you're looking at these, if you can hit with Ballyburn, Constitutional, Lossiemouth, and say Embassy Gardens on the first day, that's a cracking day. At least you've got some horses with strong chances there at the front, and you're going to be showing a profit. Whereas if we haven't been playing Ante-Post now, what do you do with these races with your Constitutionals and your Lossiemouths? And it's like, for me, like I said right at the beginning, it's a game, it's a bit of fun. You try and make a few quid on it as well. But I don't want to be sat down watching a big race at Cheltenham and I can't have a financial interest in it, So that's part of the reason why I play this long game, to get on these horses early if I can. That I suspect may be unbackable on the day for people like me anyway. I'm not going to chuck 30 grand on a horse to win 40, So yeah, we got Constitutional there. Stateman, I think, will give him a race this year. I do. I think he's improved a bit. But yeah, I mean, for the amount we've got back, personally, I'm not going to cover Stateman, I don't think. If we'd got a lot more back for Constitutional, then I would be definitely investing a little bit into, I'd be laying a bit off. Or just having a little on Stateman there. But I think I'll probably just let it run. Probably, I might have a small little bit on Stateman, but Mares Hurdle, Lossiemouth, yeah, 4 points, 7-2, that'd be 18 points back. Again, it's not quite what you'd want to be getting back off a race, but she's odds on there. She's going to take the beating, isn't she? I can't add it in my mind. This race, I might look at the without market, because that is one option you've got, isn't it? If you can't get on the... Because you take Lossiemouth out, and it's a kind of cracking racing behind her. Yeah, Henry's horse. Name escapes me now, yeah, but Henry's horse, I could be interested in her in the without market. Yeah, so Ashra Diamond, she looks the obvious one, doesn't she? But she hasn't got the Cheltenham form there. I think if anything's going to beat Lossiemouth, it will probably be her. But equally, in the without market, should be one maybe, to take on maybe. Right, 4 mile at Embassy Gardens, yeah. Again, 5 points, 11-4. I don't see us having too much more on that, so again, what, 17 and a half. Well, yeah, it's not as big a drag as you'd like, but I do think he'll go off maybe 6-4 or so, providing they don't drop him to the Browns. They could be tempted to do that, but one non-run and no bet. I think for me, he's the kind of standout in that race. Ballybingham, yeah, we got Mystical Power, haven't we? 6.5-1. That's a nice drag if he does the business. I think, like I say, I think Willie will split him. I can't see him in the same race myself. And yeah, comes here. We've talked about him. I'd be liking him. That turn of foot he's got should stay. Like I say, he were down to running that 2.5 lawlers an ace. He would have ran there if it weren't for the fog. Browns, we played this well. We've got some nice tickets here. Factor file, yeah, 28s into 3s. We've got a nice drag for him. Stairway Face, 16s into 7-2. Monty Star, 45s into 7s. The way that's stacking up, oh yeah, Facile Vega, unlikely to go here, but we got 16s, a couple of points if it does. The way that race is stacking up, we'll see like closer to the time, but it may be that there's only like 1 or 2 viable dangers to us, and it might end up being a race where we may as well cover those 2 horses, maybe. I don't know, we'll see about that closer to the time. But that's panned out really nice for us. The Champion Chase, again, it's one of them. We got 5 points at 2s, just the 15 points back, but you know, he's the beast and you're cheering him on there for 15 points, so I'm happy with that. Grand Annual, yeah, we did the same for Lycian, didn't we? 3 points at 14s. Don't know, no idea if he comes here, but if he does, he won't be 14s, and I'd definitely be happy to be on him. The Bumper, yeah, we're going to have to revisit this. Just got a point Cantico, a point the Yellow Clay. The Yellow Clay, I do think this is one of them races, right? We had Jeroboam, didn't we? I hate it when this happens. You back an horse, he'd been a strong fancier, Jeroboam Machant, kind of stand out for me. You know, I feel he was the winner there. So then you take him out and it's like, I don't like it when this happens. It messes my head up a bit because it's like, well, you're basically trying to pick the forecast now, aren't you? You're trying to pick what would have been second to Jeroboam Machant. Yeah, which is kind of why I'd like a little on the Yellow Clay, because to me, you know, if you ran that race again next week, he could have maybe, in my mind, given the improvement he should make from that run, I could have seen him finishing like up the arse at Jeroboam at Cheltenham, and if he does, then that could well be good enough to take care of the rest, you know. We'll see. I'd say double figures, yeah, definitely worth a small bet there. Turners, yeah, it's these novice chases, it all revolves around what Willie's going to do, doesn't it? But we got some nice tickets there. Factor file, 2 points at 14s, 3 points at 5s, non-run and no bets. So we've got it for a nice drag either way. You know, what's that, 30, that's like 48 points back. And yeah, we've got 48 points in the Turners, 56 for the Browns. Yeah, that's a nice drag for Factor Files winning at Cheltenham. Facile Vega, yeah, special one. We've had to cover him a little bit now. Could get pushed up here if he's looking like, particularly if Gaelic Warriors looking dodgy to get there. I don't know. The Ryanair Banbridge just got the 4 points at 5-2. Not very exciting, but I don't want to go bigger on him. I mean, he won't run if the ground's bad, but it's one of them. How about if it's kind of borderline, you know? So I don't want to put more on him now in case it sort of goes soft and they just think, oh, we'll take a chance anyway. You know, so yeah, keep that as it is at the minute, and really it's a race to be looking at probably on the week when you know what, you know, some idea what the ground's going to be. But equally, I don't want to be sort of backing anything else, because if Banbridge does run, then I'm not going to be fancying that other horse, you know, so much. Stayers, Irish Point. We got 4 points at sixes, into fours. I like Irish Point. I think he's the best horse in this race. And if he runs, I like him. If he runs, now they've left him in the champion hurdle, haven't they? Gordon's mentioned that's an option for him. Personally, you know, this is. Personally, right, I cashed out my 6-1 for a profit and rebacked him at 7-2 non-running out bet with, you know, put the profit back onto him. Still get a bit less, but I didn't really want to drop 4 points on him. I think they've been mad, to be honest, to go champion hurdle, because, you know, there's no way in my mind he can be a state man, never mind a constitutional. So best, you know, he's running for third place. Why run a horse at Cheltenham for third place when, you know, he'd have a cracking chance in the Stayers for me? I know they've got Teapot there, but to me, it's not like Teapot's going to be going there at, like, you know, 1-3. He's not nailed on, you know. That's I think he'll end up in the Stayers, I do, but you know, we'll see. Mares Novice Hurdle, yeah, talk about this a bit more. Jade Grugy, Brighter Days Ahead, and Dysart Enos. We've got to cover Dysart Enos because I do think the winner comes from one of these three. I think any of these three would have been winning the last few renewals of this. I think this is the best Mares Novice Hurdle we've ever seen. It's Jade Grugy, Brighter Days Ahead. I can already see him there being clear. I mean, in the Mares Hurdle in 2025, because for me, Lossiemouth will be going in Champion Hurdle. These two mares stay 2.5. Jade Grugy, Brighter Days Ahead. The cracking mares. They are. These are proper top draw. It's an hard one to call. Like I say, we will cover Dysart Enos. We maybe should just chuck a couple of points on her. I kind of think what it is, I think these two Irish mares are so good, so good. I think Jade Grugy will be really strong. I can see her finishing sort of around 7-4, despite, you know, I think she'll finish less than 2s. Brighter Days Ahead's going to have a lot of supporters as well. I just think something's got to give. So I think the price on Dysart Enos might just ease out a little bit, which is why I've been kind of hanging back. But then you think, well, if anything does happen to one of these two mares and one of these has to come out, then that price is going to go and you've missed your opportunity, haven't you, to tie that race up. So we should maybe have like half of what we're going to have on Dysart now, maybe. So I'll have a little think about that. As good as she is, Dysart Enos, I mean, nobody knows, you're kind of guessing. I love these two, and if pushed, I just think Jade Grugy, she's French bred, isn't she? Brighter Days Ahead. I think Jade Grugy might just be the finished article right now at Cheltenham. She's French bred. She might be just a little bit too street smart. She might have just a little bit too much pace and street smarts about her for brighter days ahead at this stage of the careers. Next year in the mares, maybe that'll be flipped around. I don't know. So I think Bright Days has got a ton of improvement in her. So if, say, Jade de Grugy were to put away by a few lengths this year at Cheltenham, I could see that flip round over 2.5 the year after, maybe. But then, say you don't know quite what you've got with these horses. Jade de Grugy could win this by sort of 10 lengths, and in that case, she's just, if anything wins this by 10 lengths, you're talking like, is this another honeysuckle or something, seriously, these could be that good. Yeah, it's a fantastic race anyway. Yeah, really looking forward to that. Let's hope they all get there, safe and sound, and we've got a brilliant race there. But yeah, we've got a nice drag for either of those two, and we'll cover Dysart Enos for a stake back. Well, I like playing early. We will have some bets for 2025 before this Cheltenham. Yeah, we will. Those two mares for the Mares Hurdle next year, they'd be pretty near the top of my list, Yeah, I think even if sort of Dysart Enos beat them this year at Cheltenham, I think over the extra half mile next year, these two stay, like, you'd fancy them for the Mares Hurdle the year after. And like I say, Losimouth will be going, I think, Champion Hurdle next year. We want to get Factor Files back for the Gold Cup. There's a couple of prices there, to win the Turners of the Gold Cup with Paddies, or to win the Browns at the Gold Cup with Paddies. The problem is there, we don't know which race it's going for this year yet, do we? So they're just sort of hanging fire until we know, and then we'll be back in that. Right. And it will be, the week of Cheltenham, I'll be mad busy, don't sleep much, you're trying to cover all the angles and stuff. The videos that week, if I do any at all, they'll be very brief, and they'll be mainly if I've got a really strong fancy come to mind for Cheltenham, maybe. But mainly be like on the evening, if we've seen anything that day that I've already backed for next year's Cheltenham, like, 2025, I'll put them up as we go. And that'll be good, because, some of these horses I've got on at sort of bigger prices we've backed. But I backed them before I first saw you, so, I've gone with the prices that when I first saw you. But we'll have like a full year at it, which will be good. Right then, Triumph Hurdle, Masborough. Yeah. Just got a point on Masborough at 20s, 10s now. I do think if any horse is going to beat Sergino, it'll be Masborough, I think. Because from that Leopardstown race, I think to be troubling a Sergino, I think something's going to have to take a big step forward from that, quite a big step anyway. And the one most likely to take quite a big step out of that race would be Masborough, I'd say. So, yeah, it kind of gives us a bit of leeway there to be going in on Sergino, but Sergino is odds on, and I'm not into really smashing odds on shots up, but I'll be more trying to get on him, like him and Galloping, we're not on, like, through multis sort of thing. It's like I put on one week or two ago after the DRF, I did a decent treble on Ballyburn for the Supreme, Sergino, Triumph and Galloping for the Gold Cup, because we've not covered them two. But, Albert Bartlett, yeah, 6 points reading Tommy Wrong, 7-1 non-runner bet. I'd say he's more likely to turn up in the Ballymore, but if he does rock up here, I'd really strongly fancy him, I would. I'm happy with that bet, but it could well be a money back bet. Fast or slow, yeah, early season we were looking really good with this Gold Cup, but then the King's back, so it does look all about the favourite now. Galloping, odds on again, is a bit sort of similar price to Sergino. Again, you know, we've got what, 5 points on this, so we could easily just say chuck 6 points on Galloping, and then I think we got the race done there. Like, we've at least sort of got our money back. I'll think about it. I don't know, because like I say, personally, I'll be more into just trying to get something to run onto them, but we'll see. But yeah, there's a race. It's Galloping's to lose, isn't it? And if he does lose it, I think we're probably on the winner with Fast or Slow. I think he's the second best sort of staying chaser. I think Martin Brazel, absolute class trainer. He's brilliant. He is. He's forgot more than I'll ever know, but I think he kind of missed an opportunity with that King George at Christmas. I think he'd won that on the snaff. I do. But, Mares Chase, Allegory de Vassy. We just got a point at 6-1. This was another one where we were all over Halkett. Allegory would have got a stake back anyway, and a little bit more. If she repeats the run of last year, that could be good enough to take this. But it's one of them. Again, it's like I'm thinking Alka would have won this, and what would have been second? Maybe Dino Blue. Maybe she'd have just got her, you know, after the last. Don't really want to go back in Dino Blue at sort of 5-4. She's the best mare in the race, and she might get away with it. It's to be honest, now it's not a race I'm going to get too heavily involved in. I don't think the Mares Chase. And that's that then, a sort of quick spin through all that. Yeah, we're not in a terrible position there. We've got some nice bets on, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we can make a profit or not. The next video I do is I'm just going to do a video, just as I mentioned before, with a few pointers and stuff like that. That'll come out sometime this week, and then we'll start getting into more sort of detail race to race. Yeah, we'll get a bit more in depth with them. Okay, we'll sort of do day 1, day 2 type thing. Right, sorry about the sun. I don't see much here there. It's there you go. Right, all the best then. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate your time. I'll see you again soon. Bye.